Akio listeners, let's learn Sumo, day 6 and 7 of the Natsu Basho in Tokyo, the May tournament in Japan. But before we get into that, let's talk about a retirement today. Koto Eko, Mr. Shoulderman himself, he started the trap muscle thing before Takeru Fuji did. Koto Eko, I was a big fan of his. He had big shoulders, and if you see some of his fights around the 2020 time, he was very stable, kept his head very still. He had great balance, and his upper shoulder strength, his upper body strength allowed him, when he was up against pressure at the bales, to pull people over and win those Watanage fights. So good luck to him. He's going to become an oyakata, a stable master. He's taken over with the stables of one of his oyakata who has retired. So good luck to him. I suggest he knows what sumo is about. He'll create some good rikishi out there. So day 6 and day 7. Day 7, Ura comes back to the crowd. He lost a match tonight. So that leaves 6 wins after day 7 on Onosato Komusubi. Daisho sitting at Megashira 1, Ura Megashira 4, Shonanumi at Megashira 10, and Takara Fuji at Megashira 16. Behind us at 5 wins, Ozeki Kotozakura, Megashira 5 Meisei, Megashira 7 Mitakayumi has dropped another loss, I should say. Churanumi at 13, Ryuden at 14, Oshoma at 14. So Hoshoryu, our other Ozeki, sits at 4 wins. Abi, our Sekiwake, sits at 4 wins. And down the list, unfortunately, Sekiwake, Wakamoto Haru, he is on 3 wins and went Karaban today. Kyujo today, I should say. He's out injured. Not sure how long yet. I need to do a bit of work there. I'll find out on that one. Kirishima presented a certificate today. He is out for the rest of the tournament. He has a neck issue, a cervical neck issue, which will take a couple of weeks to get better. He will now definitely fall back to Sekiwake, where he needs 10 wins to get back up to Ozeki straight away. If he doesn't do 10 wins in July, that means he falls to Sekiwake, and he has to do the Ozeki run of 33 wins over 3 tournaments. So far, out Kyujo, we have Takeru Fuji, the winner from March, Asanayama Komusubi, Takakeisho Ozeki, Teruno Fuji, Yokozuna, Kirishima Ozeki. Today we lost Sekiwake, Wakamoto Haru, Tobizaru, he's not out, and that's it for the moment, but they are falling over a little bit. Takayasu, that was the one I was missing. Megashira 3, Takayasu, he is out Kyujo on day 3. So, look, bit of a nasty tournament so far in terms of people going Kyujo. Hopefully, as we go on, we won't lose too many more. Let's move on to some of the bouts. Day 6, yesterday on Friday. Tomokaze, he lost to Juryo Bushizan. He is now 0-6 on day 6. His right ankle is fairly heavily strapped. He couldn't seem to put much pressure on his right foot and just got oshidashi'd. Ryuden easily beat Tsurugisho. Same again. Tsurugisho hasn't got any push with his knee heavily strapped and lots of scaffolding. That was an oshidashi. Shonanumi used his footwork. Very interesting against Nishiki Fuji, I should say. Look, they had a struggle after the tachi-ai. They got a belt grip one-handed at the edge, and as he had Nishiki Fuji at the edge, wide stance, he put his foot inside Nishiki Fuji's foot and kicked Nishiki Fuji's foot over the dohyo. It was a really good move, I thought. Unfortunately, they called it a yorikiri. I think that needs its own kimarite. That was a really good move. Great sumo sense. Anyway, moving on. Meisei beats Midori Fuji Hatakikomi. Midori Fuji is continuing with his very full forward, very oshizumo style, going full force. He got an inside position. He forced Meisei to retreat constantly. He almost lost his footing a few times, but he kept up the pressure and he just got too far forward. Meisei slapped him down, Hataki Komi. It's a bit of a shame for him. But I can see he's trying something different, but... maybe it's a test event. He's not going to fall too far out of Magashira if he doesn't do too well. He's only got 2 wins up to day 6. Kimbozan, he overpowered Tamawashi at the Tachiai, thrust him out with 3 or 4 decent hits. Oshidashi. Onosho beat Shodai. Look, stood Shodai up at the Tachiai, just drove him out. It's pretty poor by Shodai, to be honest. And it's kind of really hard to understand Shodai's sumo sometimes. Some days, as I said to Goose on Salt City Sumo, some days a diamond, some days a stone, and that really describes Shodai. Some days he just has great thrust and great sense, and some days he just puts up a very poor performance. Koroshoho beat Sadnumi. A little bit of a thrusting battle at the beginning. Koroshoho transitioned to a right belt grip and pulled Sadnumi over the bales for a really nasty Watanabe. It was quite a forceful hit. Ura, really super smart sumo by Ura on day 6 to beat fellow leader Mitakayumi. Okuridashi, a behind a rear push-out. They met at the Tachiai and Mitakayumi tied up Ura's arms and they got into a big hold and he forced Ura back like they were doing the big chest pushes in training where they push each other across the sumo and one leg back. Ura held firm as he was driven back and his back foot just pushed along. And the moment he hit the Tawara, he disengaged, grabbed Mitakayumi's arm and pulled him past for an Okuridashi. That got Ura 6-0 and dropped Mitakayumi out of the lead. Sole lead after day 6. Excellent win, great sumo by Ura. Gonayama got a win over Atami Fuji. Sukiya Toshi diagonal throwdown. A strong Tachiai by Gonayama as usual. He's very, very forceful at the Tachiai. Got a one-handed belt grip by Atami Fuji and a body grip by Gonayama. Gonayama forced Atami Fuji back to the bales and under pressure. And Atami Fuji was good enough to go lateral around the ring, but Gonayama got onto the back of Atami Fuji's belt as they locked up in the middle. They both moved their hips and shoulders, trying to gain an advantage. They engaged and tried to stand each other up, change their centre of gravity, but Gonayama took the advantage and drove Atami Fuji down for a Sukiya Toshi. Look, I've watched the replay 3 or 4 times, and I really can't say that Atami Fuji did too much wrong here. He just got slightly pipped at the post by Gonayama, who was quite strong. It was just, one moment off balance, and Gonayama took it. Onto our Sekiwake Wakamoto Haru and former Sekiwake Daisho, Suki Tayoshi, a frontal thrust down, which is different to a Sukiya Toshi, which is a diagonal throw down off the body. This is a Suki Tayoshi, a frontal thrust down, but it's more likely Wakamoto Haru, you probably more call it an elbow to the jaw, which caused his legs to collapse under him. It looked a bit strange live as I was watching it. I was on the bus and my iPad was moving around a bit, but Wakamoto Haru's feet just fell out from under him. In the slow replay, I watched it again a couple of times today. A big thrusting push by Daisho, but he goes in for the second effort and he just caught Wakamoto Haru with his elbow to the jaw. It's that little nerve that runs along the jaw and it just removed every ounce of power from Wakamoto Haru's legs. His ankles did a funny thing as he went down. It was very unfortunate. Nothing you can do there except avoid his elbow next time. That win goes to Daisho. Sukiya Tayoshi, frontal thrust down. Hirodumi in the next bout beat Abi. Sukiya Toshi, diagonal throwdown. Abi goes with his hands to Hirodumi's face at the Tachiai. Hirodumi did a big hit and shift, and as a result, he twisted to the side. Abi was too committed, and Hirodumi helped him down to the clay. It was a fast win. Blink and you missed that one. Onosato joins up with Ozeki Kotozakura. This is only their third meeting, and 2-1 to Koto Eko. Onosato, he was very sensible at the tachi-ai. It didn't go hard. It was a tachi-ai, but he didn't go full hard at Kotozakura. He's seen Goneyama and others try to drive Kotozakura back with no effect. They both got onto the belt grip off the tachi-ai. Kotozakura had a left outside grip, started going backwards, and I think he was looking for an Watanage overarm throw as he retreated to the bales. Onosato kept up the pressure, and Kotozakura kind of ran out of space and time for a Yorikiri. Ran out of time and space, and Onosato Yorikiri'd him out of the dohyo. To me, it was pretty poor sumo by Kotozakura not to recognise that Onosato will be able to push him out. Maybe he expected a bigger tachi-ai like Goneyama. Either way, Onosato's knocking over some big names as he goes through the list. Hoshoryu beat Tobizaru. Yorikiri, Hoshoryu started a long way back from the line, waited for Tobizaru at the tachi-ai, locked Tobizaru's arms up to prevent him from thrusting or grabbing. Tobizaru withdrew as Hoshoryu spun him on his axis, used his mawashi to get him to spin. They re-engaged after Tobizaru did a big full 360, and Hoshoryu got a right outside bell grip, a left inside upper body grip. Tobizaru he had a left inside only, a little bit loose, wasn't great. Hoshoryu used it to drive Tobizaru out. Yorikiri, easy win there from Hoshoryu. Oho met up with Kirishima. Kirishima missed Oho's belt off the tachi-ai as Oho thrusted at him. Kirishima tried to get the initiative back. He moved forward with a thrusting attack, but he was just too committed, and Oho retreated for Hiki Itoshi arm pull down, 2-4 to Oho, 1-5 to Kirishima, and that resulted in him going Kyujo for day 7. He won't be back for this tournament. That is a shame. And we moved on to day 7. We saw Toki Hayate, our debutant in Makuchi. He Hayate'd Ryuden out of the dohyo. Watanage, I'd like to add a new Kimarite, a Yitanage, because Ryuden was Yitanage'd out. To be honest, Toki Hayate showed some pretty good grip to get into a belt position to throw Ryuden. It was no easy feat. He had to work hard for that. Tomokaze beat Ichiyamamoto. Ichiyamamoto, he's like Shodai. Some days he's a diamond, some days he's a stone. He's got some great thrust, but some days it just seems to be a feature of Ichiyamamoto. He gets too far forward, he gets too committed, and he goes down to Hiki Itoshi arm pull down. He just makes himself vulnerable to that or the Hataki Komi. Same again for him. So Tomokaze gets another win there. Hokuto Fuji beats Oshoma. Oshoma came into this match on 5-1. Hokuto Fuji has a really strong tachi-ai, kept up the drive and just pushed Oshoma out, which made him 5-2. So takes him a little bit 2 matches out of the lead. Look, Hokuto Fuji, another one like Shodai, some days a diamond, some days a stone, depends if his knees are working. Takara Fuji, one of our other leaders, took up with Mitoryu, big man Mitoryu, and it resulted in a very unusual kimarite, a koshidake, to unexpectedly lose one's balance and fall, which is exactly what Mitoryu did. He's a big man, and somehow they were, at the bales, and suddenly Mitoryu just went down. No reason. Big man. Anyway, Nishiki Fuji up next against Sadanumi. Looks a fast match. Nishiki Fuji hit at the tachi-ai, withdraws, and slaps Sadanumi down for a Hataki Komi win. Shononumi versus Kinbozan. I am quite liking Kinbozan's style lately. He's doing well. Shononumi obviously is a quality rikishi as well. Pretty good tachi-ai. Almost got Kinbozan going forward after that. Shononumi got onto one belt, pulled him forward. Kinbozan recovered. Shononumi got an outside right and a deep inside left and goes for a sharp throw, a Watanage win to Shononumi. After that match, I'm sitting there and I went, there's a... I want to say geisha because everyone will recognise the word. It's not quite that. There is another word for that. Fully made up, very beautiful in the crowd behind. I think geisha has a bit of a connotation to it, but geiko is usually the word you find of those made-up art ladies in Kyoto. On to the next fight, Mitsukayumi versus Shodai. Mitsukayumi holds this one 19-13 to Shodai. Shodai got an upper body grip on Mitsukayumi from the tachiai, worked him towards the Tawara bales. Shodai, they got into a pretty good fight there, but Shodai got the Yorakiri. Mitsukayumi racks up 2 losses. Look, he had a left belt grip, but his outside right on the body wasn't enough purchase. Shodai stood him up and enough to prevent him from defending. Nishikigi versus Tamawashi. Tamawashi, now remember, 88 tournaments, 7 Kinboshi wins over Yokozuna, 2 Yusho wins for Tamawashi. He is a quality Rikishi. Nishikigi wins by Yorakiri. He was very motivated at the tachiai, a hit and shift to get a better move towards Tamawashi, gets him stood up and drove him out. Next up, Kota Shoho and Midori Fuji. Kota Shoho is doing really well this tournament. He's showing a bit more effort. Big thrashing attack by Kota Shoho to keep Midori Fuji off his shoulder and away from him. Kota Shoho was very clearly did not want Midori Fuji to get a hold. It was pretty frenetic thrusting. Midori Fuji just doesn't have the same reach as Kota Shoho. Look, he did eventually get an arm under Kota Shoho's shoulder, and Kota Shoho knew it and grabbed a body grip and drove him over the bales. He knew how to stop the Katsukashi. It's clear that I thought that Midori Fuji was going for that. He tried to grab, but just couldn't make it work. Kota Shoho 4-3, Midori Fuji languishing on 2-5. Takanosho versus Meisei. Good charge by Meisei at the tachiai. Drives him with thrust as Takanosho stepped out backwards. Pretty impressive by Meisei there. Yorakiri. Gonayama versus Onosho. Bit of a mata by Gonayama to start the match. Restart. Big charge by Gonayama. And they meet. Gonayama starts going back to the bales as he tries to Hatakikomi Onosho. But Onosho is going down, but he just saved it. And as he goes back, apparently Gonayama stepped out, maybe dead body. I couldn't pick it in the replay. There was no mono-e. Anyway, they gave it to Onosho. Very, very close, I thought. You might see there's still some arguments going on about Korozakura and Tobizaru on the other night as to whether it was a dead body or another rule. There'll be another episode coming after this tournament where we'll talk about some of those issues. On to the next match, Hiradumi versus Daisho. Hiradumi 2-4, Daisho looking for the lead, trying to get back to Sekiwake, 5-1. This is their 4th meeting. Daisho leads 2-1. It was a big hit, of course, with Hiradumi. Uses his head at the tachiai. Daisho absorbed it and drove forward like he's going to pull, and he looked like he was going to fall forward, but he kept his feet, kept forward with his hands, and he pushed Hiradumi out Oshidashi. It's a bit of a lucky win there by Daisho. He was not entirely controlled or balanced there. Atami Fuji 2-4 meets Ono Sato, outcharging man 5-1 Komusubi. This is their first meeting. Atami Fuji got him back on the ropes, met him, they locked up. Atami Fuji had him locked up. Both went back to the Tawara bales, but under pressure, Onosato disengaged and pulled Atami Fuji down at the last minute. Look, they called it a shitate dashinage. Let me try that again. Shitate dashinage, which is effectively an underarm pull-down throw. Shitate dashinage, which is very close to the shitate nage throw, but slightly different. Pull-down throw, underarm pull-down throw. Wakamoto Haru, he went Fusen, which gave Abi a Fusen win, and Abi probably needed it, which got him to 4-3. The next one, Tobizaru got a Fusen win over Kirishima. That got him to 3-4. So, after that we had Ura versus Kotozakura. This was going to be the match of the night. We got Ura in the lead by himself at 6-0. Kotozakura chasing him at 5-2. Ura met and ended up with his head kind of under Koto Zakura's chest as they locked up in a position. It was a really funny position, kind of caused by Ura going in so low in that position we know him so well doing in Greco-Roman. They stayed together for quite a while as they were trying to get a bit of balance, a bit of advantage. Ura tried to go back and disengage, and Koto Zakura followed him and pressured him back so that Ura actually stepped out first, and then he got a little bit of a push and ended up on his bottom on the side next to the salt basket. Ura tried a pulling attempt, but it failed, and effectively that's where he ended up landing on his backside. Oshi Tayoshi, 6-1. Koto Zakura now 5-2. So he's not in the lead by himself anymore. Interestingly, next, Hoshoryu up against Oho. Now, I found out something today from Goose from Salt City Sumo. Apparently, Oho is the grandson of former Yokozuna Taiho, who was apparently the inspiration for Yokozuna Hakuho. So thank you for that, Goose. Anyway, big touchy eye, big strong grip by both of them. Hoshoryu tried to get the inside grip, but Oho broke the grip and nearly got an underarm shoulder pull down, swing down Karasakashi on Hoshoryu, but somehow Hoshoryu recovered. He got into a really wide low stance there and recovered. Oho kept up the pressure, a big frontal attack, and that forced him down. Sukiyotoshi pushed down, which gave Oho the win. So, the end of day 7. Who do we think is going to win this tournament? Well, my money is on our Ozeki Koto Zakura or our former Sekiwake Daisho. I think Onosato Komusubi is in with a pretty good chance. I think you'll find one of those three will end up winning it. As much as I'd love to see Ura win it, look, his sumo this week has been nothing short of brilliant in that he has taken some of the unpredictability out of it. He has attempted to make it a more stable form of sumo, and I think that has helped him dramatically. Meiseis and Mitakayumi are still there at 5-2. Shononumi still at 6-1. He is still in with a chance, and Takara Fuji, our veteran, 6-1. He knows how to win a Yushos from where he is. It's a matter of who can make their body hold out for longer. So be interesting to see. Anyway, maybe tomorrow night on Salt City Sumo, we'll, if I can make time, if Goose can have me on, we might have a bit of live commentary. Otherwise, enjoy your sumo for Sunday, day 8. Let's see where it goes from here. The cream will rise to the top. Enjoy. Hakuo listeners, let's learn sumo.